Sports Arena, powered by DSC Hawaii on the Hawaii Pacific University campus at Aloha Tower Marketplace. Here's your host, Hawaii Pacific University's Vice President and Chief Marketing Communications Officer, Jeffrey Rich.
Aloha, Sharks Nation. It's Thursday morning, and we are broadcasting live again from Aloha Tower Marketplace on the beautiful campus of Hawaii Pacific University. As we do every Thursday morning, we are in the HPU Esports Arena, of course, powered by DSE Hawaii. I am your host, Jeff Rich, and alongside me, as always, is our in-studio producer, Mr. Paul Brecht. We're talking golf today. We've got some special guests in studio. But hey, before we get to golf, Paul, how was your weekend? It was kind of a big weekend.
Yeah, another busy weekend in HPU sports. A lot of fun, but overall, I want to touch on homecoming, right? Biola, HPU, the men's basketball game continuing. A phenomenal year overall for HPU, and just what has been a fun year in HPU athletics. We have another really awesome crew with us here today with the men's and women's golf program here, so a lot of fun. Can't wait to talk to them, but you're right. A lot of fun this past weekend as well. HPU taking down Biola 79-70. And then, obviously, homecoming has so many fun faces, so many teams, familiar faces, I should say, back in the Shark Tank.
Oh, for sure. And we'll talk a little homecoming here as the show wraps up later. And we would be remiss if we didn't talk a little Super Bowl later as well, coming out of Sunday's game. But let's turn our attention to golf, the sport of the day, and the reason that we are here this morning. So we have a special treat. We've got both the men's and women's teams represented here. So it's exciting. We're going to talk a little bit about how HPU has been developing its program and some of the successes of the program. But let me introduce our special guest today. First, the head coach of both the men's and women's team, an HPU head coach since 2019, returning to the show again, Coach Ed Kageyama. Ed, how are you? It's good to see you again.
Doing great.
It's good to have you back.
Thanks for having us.
We're always happy to have the golf teams in and learn a little bit about what you guys are up to this season. And we've got 3 student athletes with us today. We've got sophomore Grant Garrison, hailing from Lake Tapps, Washington. Grant, good to have you with us this morning.
Thank you.
And also, let's see, we've got Shion Suzuki from Narima, Tokyo, a freshman.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Good to have you as well. We'll talk a little bit about your hometown in a little bit here. We'll learn a little bit more about you. And representing the women's team, hailing from Las Vegas, Nevada, we've got sophomore Clarissa Burhan. Good to see you. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We're glad to have you. Welcome, everybody. So, hey, let's jump right into golf. So Ed, golf is pretty much a year-round sport in Hawaii. One of the wonderful things about living here is the weather's always beautiful. The teams can play all year round and practice, so it's kind of a mecca for year-round outdoor sports. But looking through the schedule, I saw that back in the fall semester, like back in August, you took the teams on a trip to Japan.
Yeah, we did. We got an invite to come play a collegiate tournament up there, and it was a great experience. It was a lot of work to get everybody there, and we had the luxury of taking everybody on the team, not just the scoring 5. And so thanks to Debbie and the administration and allowing us to go to provide such a exceptional student athlete experience.
Now, is that the first time the team has gone, or is this an annual?
It's the first time that I know of that HPU has gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that something that hopefully will be an annual event? Is that an annual tournament that would be a good sort of marker for the team to get bonding? I mean, it's got to be nice because it's so early in the semester to get everybody together to build that chemistry and really get everybody kind of leveled. And
yeah, it is fun because it is a great bonding experience for everybody. The freshmen came in with like maybe 2-3 days of school, and boom, we're in Japan.
Yep.
And so that was really great for them. It is a little hard because it is early in the season where we really didn't have a lot of time together to practice. And so we're going to a tournament a little cold with a lot of things going on in their lives. And so it is, we had low expectations coming in, just have a really great experience, compete as best as we can. And enjoy the just overall experience of being in Japan, playing college golf in Japan, and the equivalent of the field strength was equivalent to like a D1, top D1 program here in the U.S.
Players from all over the world, or was it predominantly Japan and U.S. teams?
Predominantly Japan, Korea, China, Thailand, San Jose State men's, Western Carolina women's were also there.
Okay.
And then us.
Nice. What a great opportunity. And from the player's point of view, I mean, that must have been an incredible way to start the school year and to start the season. And, Grant, what was your experience like?
Yeah, for me, it was my first time going to Japan, so that was a really awesome experience, and the culture there is amazing. The golf side, I didn't play the best, but it was a really fun experience, and I learned a lot from it. So, nice. And those players are fantastic out there. So
yeah, it's got to raise the bar for everybody. Clarissa, did you have any special memories from that experience? But tell us about what it was like for you.
Yeah, so that was also like my first time going to Japan, and it was really just an amazing experience. I think my favorite part was the food, just because I love food in general, but Japanese food specifically is like my favorite. So being able to go there and like try all different types of sushi and stuff was really great. I also didn't play that well in I didn't play that well in the tournament, but it was really interesting to see like the way they play golf there and how respectful they are to the course and to the other players. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah. Well, did you attribute the sort of slow start, for you guys to just, the magnitude of the place that you were in and the experience, or just, it's early in the season, it's August, you're just getting rolling?
Yeah, so it was just kind of, I think it was a lot of changes happening in that month. Like we were just moving back to Hawaii for the new semester to start, and then basically like going to Japan right away. So I think it was just a lot of getting used to new things. So that's, I think, why we kind of struggle a little bit, but overall it was just really great.
Well, get the kinks worked out early in the season. So Shion, that was you headed back home. So you're from Narima? Tokyo.
Yep.
That's outside of Tokyo?
That's inside Tokyo.
Inside of Tokyo.
Inside
okay.
Tokyo.
So how did it feel to come back to a place that you're familiar with and be in a more comfortable zone, I imagine, for you?
Yeah, it was great going back home playing golf there. And yeah, I got to see some of my friends that I competed in high school in that tournament, so it was a good experience for me. And yeah, I got to go back to Tokyo also, and my mom and grandma always came to watch me play too, so that was great also.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Have your family been able to come out to Hawaii since you got out here?
No, they haven't, so it was like first time in like 2 years that they got to watch me play, so it was good.
Wow. Well, that's got to be nice. But I imagine hopefully some family will come out and visit. I mean, everybody wants to come out to Hawaii, right? So that was a great way to start the year. And you have matches early in the year in the fall semester, and then there's a bit of a hiatus, and then you move into sort of a second season, or is it a continuation? How does the season collegiate golf lay out here in Hawaii when you are able to play in the fall and spring?
So there's a non-championship segment, which is the fall, and then the championship segment, which is the spring. And it's championship because that's when we have conference and postseason play.
Okay.
And so both seasons do matter. It matters in your rankings and your points that you're getting, and so it does matter. But they distinguish them both by non-championship and championship seasons.
Now, is that unique to because of where we live? That I imagine a lot of other programs around the country that have winter aren't able to.
That's college golf. That's how college golf is.
Okay, so college in general. Okay, so how does the team bond, and how do men's and women's teams sort of go about their seasons? Do you guys commingle a lot? Is it a matter of building collaborative chemistry between both the men's and women's teams, or are you guys kind of separate? But tell us a bit about what that's like.
Well, yeah, I think we have good chemistry between the guys and the girls. We see each other in practice almost every day. And yeah, I think we have great chemistry.
What's practice like for you? Are you playing around every day? But give us a sense of what a collegiate golf athlete's schedule is like.
So right now we're practicing mainly at Prince Golf Club in Eva, but we used to practice at Pearl, but it's currently closed for renovations. But when we were at Pearl, we like to play almost every day. I think that's what our coach likes having us do. And at Prince, we still get to play, and then we also get to play Royal Hawaiian, and then we just do a lot of short game and range work at Prince too.
Okay. And Ed, from a coaching standpoint, are you sort of bound to play predominantly at one course, or are you able to spread it around and take them to different places, and is that an important part of the regiment?
It basically comes down to economics.
Okay.
And so if they're at the course that I'm at, then it's very, very friendly pricing. But if we go to another course, it's just whatever they charge. Some will give us discounts, some may not. And so that's why we have to kind of maybe spread it around while we're not at Pearl. But ideally, I'd rather them be at Pearl. One, it's they have full access to the golf course, the driving range, the chipping greens, putting greens. And so they can go play anytime they want.
Okay.
As long as there's open tee time, they can go play. And so the access to them for the golf course is, just phenomenal.
So in a given week, how many rounds would you say you're playing on average? I mean, is it literally one a day, full 18 holes, or is it not a full round, and then you're doing a lot of chipping and putting practice? And
Yeah, I'd say we practice every day, at least most of us on our own time, but playing, we only can go out 3 times a week right now.
Under
to play
official
18.
sort of practice structure.
Yeah.
Okay. Got
But
it.
then the weekends we can go pay and play somewhere else too. So
Okay. Do you ever get, just tired? I mean, do you just, I can't swing anymore, I need a break?
not really.
It's a lot of golf.
I mean, I love the game, so I love playing. So for me, it doesn't get tiring out there. It's always fun. Always a new experience.
And that's the key, is doing something that you love, that you're passionate about. And I imagine, everybody on the team must share that passion to commit so much of your life and your collegiate experience to a sport. It's a huge commitment for student athletes, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. D2 programs, there's an academic balance, of course. It's not all about the program like in some D1s, but boy, it's a huge commitment. And keeping your academics going is a challenge too. All right, hey, we are going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back, and I want to learn a little bit about your academic and career goals. So you are listening to Sharks Weekly. We are broadcasting live from the HPU Esports Arena here at Aloha Tower Marketplace. I'm your host, Jeff Rich, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we're back live talking men's and women's golf here at Hawaii Pacific University. So Clarissa, we were talking at the break about the amazing success that the women's team had last year, ranked number 9 nationally in D2 women's golf. That's an accomplishment, and it's a high bar that was set last year. What's the feeling this year? And are you guys gunning to improve that? And what's the team sort of chemistry and morale feeling like?
Yeah, we definitely feel motivated this semester because it's our championship season, so we want to do well. So I think having a good season last season was really good for us because it shows that we're able to put ourselves up there. So I'm really looking forward to this season and seeing what we can accomplish, and I think it'll be good.
Well, definitely a high bar to set, but we were talking at the break too about the high bar, not just from the athletic side of things and the success that the women's team and the men's team have had, but the academic success that the collective team have had. And I understand that that last year the women's average GPA was the highest among any women's sports program at HPU, and that is quite an accomplishment. So, and again, a high bar. And I think the men finished with the highest GPA, collective average GPA among the men's golf team historically as well. So you've got a team of academic performers and athletic performers, and that's got to create strong sense of comfort and confidence in your ability to go out there and perform in the classroom and outside. But I want to ask each of you, we'll start Shion, with you. What brought you to HPU? First of all, how did the university get on your radar? Had you had connections here? But tell us a little bit about your journey here.
So I talked to Coach Ed out of high school, but then I decided to go somewhere else first. And
where was that?
That was California, Cal Poly.
Okay.
But then I texted coach back after my first year. I wanted to come back HPU, and thankfully he was able to bring me back. So I was happy to be here.
Well, we are glad that you made that decision. When you thought California, Hawaii, I mean, what was on your mind coming from Japan? Was there a goal in terms of a lifestyle or a program or an academic profile of a university that you were looking for?
Well, first of all, I wanted to play golf all year, so I didn't want to go to a place that was really cold.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the important decisions. But both programs had a good golf team, and I wanted to play at a high level, so that was what did it.
Yeah. So you are you're a freshman coming in, so first year. Have you declared your major, and you know what you're going to focus on academically?
This is actually my second year here.
Second year, okay.
Yeah, and I'm a communications major.
Communications. So so you're studying communications. Do you have a thought of what you want to do when you graduate?
Not yet. I want to go pro in golf.
Okay, so you're going to focus and max out the opportunity within the sport.
Yeah.
So that's a primary focus for you. Do you feel like as you think about how to pursue that? Obviously, your collegiate experience is a great table setter. What's next, though? Will you go into amateur ranks, try and get onto the pro tour? But what do you see as the pathway?
Well, first of all, I want to help this team win. I want to play well here. I want to win here. And then after I graduate here, I'll think about turning pro, either back in Japan or trying to go pro here. But,
okay.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, I am absolutely confident that you are going to achieve your goals. So it's good to have them set and to be pretty adamant about where you want to go and what you want to do. Clarissa, I'll ask you the same question. You come from Las Vegas, Nevada. So you're not unaccustomed to warm, beautiful weather. Although it gets cold in Vegas. I flew through there just the other day, and it was freezing.
Yeah.
But was that a goal of yours as well? Year-round access and beautiful weather.
Coming to HPU was it was like kind of like my only option for playing golf in college. Okay. Otherwise I would have stayed home in Vegas, but I'm really glad that I did. But basically I have like family here, and my parents actually went to HPU when they lived here too.
So you are a legacy, as they say.
Basically, yeah. So I thought it was just like a really good opportunity to play golf, because when I graduated high school, I don't think my golf level was like where it should have been compared to like other recruits. So I'm just grateful that I got to come to Hawaii, and then thankfully I learned a lot from Coach Ed, and then I got a lot better here. So yeah.
So you feel like you've got that confidence, and your game's really starting to click?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this past year I've played like some of the best golf I've ever played. So I'm really confident for this season and look forward to see.
Where do you feel the strength of your game is? Is it off the tee? Is it the short game? But where do you feel really confident when you're out there?
I think right now, I think my mental is just a lot better than where it was like 3 years ago. So I think that is what really has helped me play good golf recently. So I try not to focus too much on the mechanical stuff, and just try to play golf as much as I can, and not focus on what my body's doing and everything.
Yeah. So so what's your major? What are you studying academically? And what are you thinking about doing when you move on? Are you also thinking pro golf and pursuing the sport as far as you can take it, or are you thinking about a career pathway?
So I'm majoring in electrical engineering, so I think I'll focus on that after graduation. Right now I'm still pretty open to what I want to do. Ideally I'd like to stay in Hawaii. I really like living here, so that would be great. And yeah, so I'm just still looking into a bunch of different opportunities, and we'll see what happens.
Well, it's good that you've got the horizon of opportunity ahead of you, and you've got a good sense of what you're interested and excited about, so that'll provide a good pathway for you. Grant, so you are, I think, a sophomore this year, or junior, okay. So you're from Lake Tapps, Washington. Where is that exactly?
It's like an hour south of Seattle.
Okay.
It's about 30 minutes from Tacoma.
So you've had your fill of gray skies and rain, I imagine. Huh?
Yeah.
Was the weather a draw for you here?
Yeah, I wanted to go somewhere where I could golf year round, ideally. So, yeah.
And how did HPU get on your radar? What brought you here, and how's your experience been?
Yeah, my friend's mom actually works in admissions here, so that first had me looking into the school.
Okay.
And then I applied and got accepted in here. And then I wasn't a very good golfer in high school, like not as good as I am now, obviously, but so I wasn't for sure going to golf in college, like on a team, but I decided I was going to go to school here, so I reached out to Coach Ed and I said, can I walk onto the team? Like, would I be able to try out or something? He said yes, and then here we are now.
Wow.
So.
Well, one thing that each of you have said is you feel like your game has improved immensely since you got here, and we'll give that as a testament to amazing coaching, and just having the right mental attitude, which is not just about coaching, but the chemistry and the bonding and the camaraderie that I imagine you feel with your teammates. Grant, what's your major? What are you studying right now?
My major is computer science.
Okay, so are you thinking about, post-college? Are you thinking golf? Are you thinking career pathways? What's on your mind?
I'm just kind of going with the flow right now. We'll see if golf keeps improving at the rate it is, then I'll probably stay with golf. And
okay.
If not, I'll do something with my degree. So.
And what about your Hawaii experience? Do you find this to be a tough place to leave and thinking about staying, or?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. My girlfriend goes to Gonzaga, so we'll kind of probably talk about what we're going to do in the future and stuff.
Gonzaga,
yeah.
Boy. Well, that's an interesting school, just with the success they've obviously had with their basketball program. And, small schools that otherwise wouldn't be on the radar, whether it's Gonzaga with basketball or Quinnipiac with ice hockey, HPU with signature sports like golf, launching a beach volleyball team here that will be, I think, imagine a signature for us as well, given the geography that we live in. But that's fantastic. So you've got a pathway of opportunity ahead of you, and you're still evaluating options and passions, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Very nice. Coach, how do you go about making sure that the team does have the proper balance of academic focuses and also teaching those sort of life experiences that make not just a great student athlete but a well-rounded person who has success in life beyond their college sports?
Well, in recruiting, we're always looking for the whole person. Just because they're a good golfer or they have really good score, it doesn't mean they'll be successful or the team will be successful. And so we're always looking for fit, and they have to fit. They have to have all these check marks that they have to be able to get to. And one of the last things that we will probably really look at is just their overall scores that they post. That may be the least important part of what we look for. We're pretty confident that we bring in kids with good GPAs, play decent golf, just really good people, that will be pretty successful at whatever we want to do. And we're really confident, like they're saying, it's just like we will probably lower the scores by 5 strokes once they get here. And so they just have to have the aptitude to be able to do that. A lot of the recruits that we talk to, if they start leading off a recruit email with, this is how big I am, this is how fast I swing, this is how far I hit the ball, that's probably not a good fit for our program. So we're always looking for, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I enjoy, this is my family life, this is my GPA, the school I go to, this is what I want to do in life. And if that's the way that they approach things, that we know that they'll probably be fairly successful in our program.
So you're looking for team fit and the right attitude coming in about team collaborative chemistry and not just sort of superstars that want to come in.
And we don't have a ton of, we don't have this, USC kind of budget for athletic scholarships.
Yeah.
And so we have to find people that want to be here. They'll be a good fit, want to be here, enjoy it, and they're not here because of money.
Yeah.
And that if we can find those right people, with that, they'll have success in the classroom, on the golf course, with their teammates, and if you add all that up, we'll be successful.
Yeah, that's a great philosophy, and certainly the fundamental base of a good program, and bringing in just amazing talent with the right attitude and the desire to really be a part of something bigger than themselves. So fantastic and great job. All right, hey, we are going to take another quick commercial break. You are listening to Sharks Weekly. I am your host, Jeff Rich, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we are back. And as the intro announcement just said, you are listening to us live here. It's Sharks Weekly. You can catch us on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, broadcasting from 95.1 FM and AM 760. And don't forget, you can catch all of these Sharks Weekly broadcasts on YouTube and actually see what happens here in the studio. So we will post the live stream broadcast here in a day or two, and you can kind of catch all the fun happening in studio. Before we move on, I just want to just give a shout out and a big thanks to our amazing sponsors. Sharks Weekly is brought to you by physiotherapy. Our physical therapists have all been competitive athletes and know what it takes to get you back doing what you love fast. We are also sponsored by Aiea Bowl, Hawaii's only hyper bowling center. Aiea Bowl, the new experience in entertainment. So many thanks to our amazing sponsors. So let's get back to the golf team and okay, when you guys are not out there swinging, tell us about the experience when you're not, practicing or playing in a tournament. Do the men's and women's teams come together a lot? Do you guys do activities, or are the teams broken apart? What do you like to do? But give us a little taste of this sort of social life, and recreational aspects of collegiate sports. Grant, what do you think?
Yeah, we hang out a lot with the other team, and during the fall after our season ended, we actually went bowling at Aiea Bowl.
Aiea Bowl, okay.
Yeah. So,
was anybody an outstanding bowler that you want to, or was it kind of?
It was pretty close. I think I got a 150 the second game, which was
I'd say that's more than
best.
Respectable. Yeah.
But yeah, most of us got around 100, which is decent for some golfers. So
I would say. Was that an impromptu activity, or did you guys, do you plan and coordinate something like that?
Yeah, we just kind of coordinated with the other team. Yeah.
Okay. Coach, do you encourage them to kind of go off and organize, or, leave that to the teams to kind of figure that pathway out?
Yeah, we're limited to what we can do, in the week from an organized standpoint. So, yeah, we encourage them to go plan whatever they want to do on their own and, have a good time. Enjoy Hawaii.
Yeah. Absolutely. How can you not? Every athletics program we have come in, it seems like the teams are sort of laden with surfers. Any surfers on the golf team, or is that a separate sort of thing when it comes to the golf mentality?
None of us here are surfers, but a couple of us occasionally go out, but not huge surfers.
Okay. I imagine you probably appreciate that, Coach. Because
the less in danger they are, the better during the season.
Yep, and respect the power of the water is what I always say. Yeah. So what else? What else creates, all right, so the men's team, you guys do some probably collaborative bonding, as you were just saying, but, what did the men's team kind of, go off and do? Do you guys work or sort of find recreational things just within the men's team? And then also I'll ask the same question of the women's team, Clarissa.
We do some team workout stuff, so that'll be just the men's team together.
Okay.
The women's do their workouts as well, but not with us at the same time.
Okay, but not organized beach trips or other than the Aiea Bowl was one you called out a minute ago.
We went to the beach and played some football one day and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine you're not too happy about that.
I'm glad I didn't know about it.
You didn't. Yeah, football can get you quick. Clarissa, what about the women's team? Tell us a bit about the bonding experience and how do you guys go about creating that team chemistry?
So I feel like not a lot of us go out to the beach and stuff here in Hawaii just because we already spend so much time in the sun playing golf every day. But sometimes we go to Ala Moana maybe before workouts or something or after. And I think a lot of our team bonding with the women's team is when we travel. We like to still enjoy our tournament trips even though they're meant for golf. Outside of golf, when we finish, we we'd like to go eat good food because we all like food, and then maybe we'll spend an hour or two at the mall, and so that's fun. And then we always check in on each other, talk.
So you feel a lot of support from your teammates, so that's important. And I imagine, and being so far away, that's critical because we're I think the most remote place on the planet, 2,500 miles away from just about anywhere. So having that feeling of support, I imagine, is really important to everybody that comes out here, especially as a early stage underclassmen. So we were also, we were talking at the break with Paul about Paul plays bumper music, and he kind of aligns it with the sport that we have in studio that day, and so we were kind of asking, what do golfers like to do, or is it a certain genre of music? I imagine it's different for everybody, but is there a common sort of approach for getting mentally prepared for golf, where you want more sort of a meditative sort of experience before you head into a match, or is it more, get me something that's going to pump me up and get me rolling here? But tell me a little bit, Clarissa, you start. What gets you prepared, and how do you sort of get yourself ready to go?
This is a little random, but I like to listen to K-pop before a tournament. I think it makes me really happy and excited, so I like to listen to that. And then this one tournament, we were in Sonoma, and I had control of the aux, and I played K-pop at like 6 a.m. And that turned out to be one of our best tournament results. So I think K-pop is the answer to playing good golf.
There you go, and you guys will become more like the rituals of baseball, where when you figure out something that a thing that brings success, you do it all the time, right? Shion, what about you? What's your way to psych up and get ready to go, and what type of music do you like to listen to?
Well, before I came to HPU, I like to listen to like hype music, Japanese hype music.
What is that?
It's like Japanese rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hype would be synonymous with rock in Japan.
Yeah, but
is it American rock, or are there Japanese, rock hype bands that?
I like the Japanese hype bands, and I used to listen to them all the time, like girls rock bands, boys rock bands.
Okay.
But since coming here, I know coach doesn't want us listening to like hype music before tournaments and stuff.
Now, why is that? Does it just the energy level gets too high?
So when before we go play, it's just like we want to be able to talk and stuff. And so if they're all wearing headphones, then it's just like I have to repeat myself how many different times. But one of the main thing though is that I want them to be present. I want them to feel the wind, feel the ground under their feet, and and just be really present to the environment and where they're at. And so when they put headphones on and they kind of put on loud music, they kind of disconnect and disengage with the present. And so that's where I think there's that disconnect. And so then they have to kind of then settle back in when they start to go play.
Yeah.
And so, I want them to hear the birds chirping and, the sounds of what's going on and where they're at and all that kind of stuff. And so I really want them just to be present before we start.
Yeah, living in the moment. And it sounds like a great way to ground yourself and just get mentally prepared. Grant, so with that in mind, are there other, mental tricks and things that you try and do to get yourself ready to go?
I just try to kind of just ground myself, feel like I'm really just comfortable with the environment around me and just really comfortable with myself on that day if it's a tournament. So
okay. Yeah. Is anybody into meditation here? No?
No, I don't think so.
Well, something to think about too. I know, sports, try different things. I know, I remember a story of San Francisco 49ers when I think it was head coach Bill Walsh had the team do ballet practice as a part of their routine just to get them into a more refined state of mind. So finding those ways to sort of, break those mental barriers, I imagine, is an important part of coaching. And it sounds like you've got your rhythm down and really getting the players in touch with their surroundings and feeling, that impact of the moment.
Yeah, and everyone's individual, and so everyone has a little different ways of doing it. And so it's just, from a coaching aspect, it's trying to figure out how one person likes it and how the other person will like it, and trying to custom sort of like how we do things to each one, but yet be one train of thought.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Paul. I don't think I made your job any easier next time we've got the golf teams on. In terms, although we can do the hype, right? That in honor of Shion. That's it.
I got
That's
enough information from that, I think.
Are you a golfer, Paul? Do you like to hit the links?
I try to golf. I got into it a little bit later in life with my dad. I find it to be a really good bonding experience, kind of like you guys were talking about before. You spend so much time on the course, you're able to kind of learn a lot about each other and dig in. So I've started now later on after I was done with high school, and then throughout college I started to golf more with my buddies. But I'm always happy to hear any tips, because my lefty slice is certainly something that puts a couple extra strokes on my final match score.
Wow. Well, golf is an amazing game, and Ed, I think I remember telling you this story last year when we had you on. But when I play, I played over the years with my dad, who now is 87 and can't play. But into his 70s and even early 80s, we would go out and play. And that I just, God love him. He would take out a 3-iron off the tee and just hit it 120, 130 yards straight down the middle. Next one, 3-iron from the fairway, another 150 yards, and then the short game. And I could hit it 250 off the tee, which isn't huge but not bad, but never any control. And it just goes to show the ability to place the ball. It's not always the long game that gets you. It's just the consistency and staying in play. At least for golfers that aren't playing competitively, it makes the sport fun, and you're not shanking it in the woods and looking for that ball all the time. So that's interesting. So, all right, we are going to take our last commercial break here, and then we're going to come back. We'll talk a little more golf, and I'm interested to see how folks did with the Super Bowl last Sunday as well. So you are listening to Sharks Weekly. I'm your host, Jeff Rich. We will be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we're back for the last segment of Sharks Weekly here on this beautiful Thursday in the amazing state of Hawaii. Thank my lucky stars I'm here every day. Imagine you guys do as well. So, as we talked about in the opening segment, it was a big week in sports, both here at HPU and nationally, with the Super Bowl happening this last Sunday. But I want to talk a little bit more about homecoming Saturday. Paul, you gave a great shout out to the men's and women's teams. The men's team had a really strong performance and held off a late charge and hit their free throws at the end, like so often happens in basketball, where it becomes a free throw shooting contest. But it was a great turnout at the Shark Tank for HPU's homecoming event. Did any of you guys have a chance to go, or were you
we
off doing other
we were
things?
all traveling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where were you? Where were we off to?
So the women were coming back from LA, from a tournament in LA, and then the men we were going up to San Diego.
Does the travel become difficult for you? Even to a place, one of the closest places like LA. But I imagine that it can be a little draining. And is it an advantage for you when other teams travel here and have to come such a long distance? And then also when they get here, I imagine a lot of folks are overwhelmed with the beauty of this place and just what an amazing place it is to be. But where does the advantage live for you when teams come in? And how do you feel when you have to travel so far to play? Grant.
I feel like at first it's kind of hard because we fly there and the time change, so we got to go to bed really early. But over time you just get used to the experience, and it's just a routine at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a disadvantage anymore. And then coming here, the teams, they've got so much more to do with Hawaii, being in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's great that you guys were off and got a chance to go to the mainland. And sorry that you missed such an amazing Saturday for HPU sports. It was not just the men's and women's teams in action, but HPU had its first ever beach volleyball game out at Queens Beach in Waikiki Saturday morning. So another great signature sport to add here to the HPU arsenal of collegiate sports. Did you have a chance to watch the Super Bowl Sunday? Anybody a football fan?
I think most of the guys on our team love watching football, and I think they had a fun time watching.
Was there did the majority of the team root for the Niners or the Chiefs, or was it kind of a mixed bag?
I think it was pretty much the Niners. I'm not I'm not sure about football as much as probably Grant, so I'll hand it over to Grant. But
Yeah, I mean, I was just rooting for a good game. I know
You got that, boy.
with Taylor Swift, a lot of people are either on one side or the other, but I'm a Seahawks fan, so I don't like the Niners that much, but also I was kind of rooting for them because, I don't know, I thought they kind of deserved to win, but
West
it was a
Coast
great
teams.
game.
Yeah, I think people are a little sick of the Chiefs too being so dominant.
They've been so good the last 5-6 years. So
Yeah, football is an interesting sport too, and over the years as I've watched, the NFL playoffs and who goes to the Super Bowl, experience in football I think counts, and you see so often a team that's won the Super Bowl or had great success over a long period, even if they didn't have the strongest regular season, when it comes time for the playoffs, they know how to turn it on and they have that experience and know how to win. And man, did I think we saw that with Patrick Mahomes and what the Chiefs did on Sunday against what I think was a better team. But it was a great game and just something to learn from. I as I mention often here, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so I have a tortured relationship with Super Bowls. Four losses in 4 straight years, and hopefully that's a record that no team has to endure ever again. Paul, what about you? Did you get a chance to see the big game? Did you lose money? Did you win money? What happened?
I thankfully did not lose any money. That is always a positive. I did get a chance to take in the big game, had a nice spread put out there, passed out nice and early from the food coma. Actually, that's a good question, especially because I know the golf team, you guys mentioned how you like food. What's the best part of a Super Bowl spread? What needs to be part of a good party day spread? Especially since you've come to Hawaii, have you added anything on that you like for food that you need for a good time, a party?
Other than sushi and poke, I imagine, Clarissa, which you've said. Shion, tell us what makes for a good Super Bowl spread for you.
for me, it was actually like one of my first times watching football, so I don't really know, but probably here, if I'm watching football, poke has to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's always a good call.
I would say poke too.
Poke? You get your sushi and your poke and you're set to go.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah, and then for me, probably some traditional cheeseburgers, hot dogs,
Those are always a good call.
Have the
old
classics.
school, Yeah.
Coach, what about you? What's got to be on the table for Super Bowl Sunday?
Cold beverages. That's a must. But just a lot of finger foods. I think that's my favorite kind of stuff, and it's just a wide variety of foods is good, and just being around the people. That to enjoy the game together is what I enjoy.
It's the opportunity to experience something with friends and family. And for me, it's buffalo chicken wings. It's got to be coming from Buffalo. And I say this often, but I grew up in Buffalo. You grew up on chicken wings. So and back in the 80s when I was in high school and coming of age, man, you would order like a bucket of 50 wings in there, like people would order a pizza, and you'd knock them off in one night. So when I went to college and kind of got out of my zone into other parts of the country, I thought every place in the country had chicken wings. So I remember going down south and ordering chicken wings, and I got some Dixie fried chicken, and they had no idea what I was talking about. And of course, now chicken wings are ubiquitous everywhere, and one of the premier Super Bowl foods I think out there. Yep. So that's what's got to be on the table for me.
You mentioned it was your first time watching the Super Bowl. Is there any sport that you try and help the team get into as well, or one of the first times you were watching football? Is there anything you try and push on that you like to the rest of the team, kind of similar to that experience?
I like watching basketball a lot, and I think most of the team already does too, but I try to make them Knicks fans, but they don't.
That's my guy. Anybody who knows me, Paul Brecht here at HSR, and I'm a big-time Knicks fan, so that's my guy right there.
Got to be the Knicks. What is the signature sport in Japan professionally?
I would say probably baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Boy, Japan sends a lot of talent over here to the major leagues. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Is soccer big in Japan? Is that a growing sport? Like it is here?
Soccer is pretty big in Japan. They're climbing up the FIFA rankings too, so it's getting more hype in Japan also. Yeah.
Nice. And your experience as what would be equivalent to a high school student here, did you have other sports that you played or were interested in, or has it always been golf for you?
I played many sports growing up. I played soccer. I ran. I was doing track and field also. But after high school, it was mostly golf. Yeah.
Okay. And Clarissa and Grant, did you guys have other sports that you were passionate about, or did you know early that golf was the sport that you wanted to focus your energy on?
Yeah, so I started playing golf when I got to high school, and then before that, I played a lot of basketball. So that's a sport I really like still playing for fun. But yeah, now I just mainly focus on golf.
Golf. And Grant, how about you?
Yeah, I was mostly baseball growing up, and then about high school I switched to golf, and then stopped playing baseball halfway through high school and just focused on golf at that point. So
golf. Well, golf, as they tell you, I remember hearing this from my parents, the sports you want to really play and get good at when you're young are golf and tennis, because they're sports that you can kind of stick with through life. And I wish I had listened to more of that experience. I'd be a better golfer, that's for sure. But hey, so we really appreciate you guys coming in studio this morning, and wish you success as you move through the spring semester and beyond, and keep that attitude. It sounds like you've got just a great base foundation of coaching coming from Ed, and the right approach to getting prepared for games and building that collaborative team spirit. And those are the things that not just create success in terms of your outcomes on the court or the links or the field, whatever it might be, but really prepare you to be successful in anything that you do. So then I think that just, again, a testament to fantastic coaching and the building of a really solid program here. So I want to say thanks formally. We are going to wrap it up here on this beautiful Thursday, and catch us next Thursday here on Sharks Weekly. I'm your host, Jeff Rich. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll catch you next week.